Hey everybody, and welcome back to Northernlion Plays Banished. Let me just get the professions menu up here. There was an audio issue that happened with the last episode, so you did miss like 45 seconds of basically me just explaining, my god, things are in a really tough spot. As you can see, Scumtopia, a hotbed of activity right now. There are a few people walking back and forth between their houses and the storage barn, trying to take the limited amount of food that is available. Now, I've noticed, someone has told me, that you can look at people's houses and see how much food they have left. And I'm looking, and I'm not really liking, because some of these people are seriously hoarding. Look at this. Okay, you're kind of acceptable. How about your inventory? This person, who is this? Ivanahi. She's a farmer, and she's only got 17 corn. She needs your help. What about you over here, the 11-year-old fisherman? How did you manage to get... well, you know, actually, you're not doing that hot, but... Look at this, 38 corn, 140 squash, 6 fish, 9 berries, and 42 firewood. I mean, yes, you do have a child, but I guess everyone's, like, looking out for themselves at this point. In any case, we're about to get started here. I just, like, every single one of these townspeople has more food available than the whole rest of the town has in the entire stockpile. So, we're in a very, very difficult spot right now, and... as winter approaches, and this is where I wanted to end the episode, just to see how we did with this winter, I mean, food should be much less of a concern. Almost everybody who's employed in Scumtopia now is employed in some kind of food creation industry. This is very important. We also have one woodcutter, which is necessary, but hopefully, are there empty houses? There's not really empty houses, there's just a lot of houses where there's only one person living. Like, oh, okay, never mind. I didn't know that, you could actually have a child without having the husband in the house. That was not my, you know, pushing my beliefs on people. I actually thought that was just a game mechanic, that there had to be... Maybe she got pregnant and then the husband died of starvation. I don't know. That's a sad story for another day. But for now, at least the population is growing here. And as we enter the doldrums of winter with very little food in our stock, we might be taking a couple of years here just to kind of regrow our population, because sincerely... we're in a little bit of a difficult spot. Like, you should have a child. You already have a child, but it's been 2 years. You can have another one. You probably cannot have children anymore, and I don't begrudge you that. You had a child recently. You're off the hook. All right, Hollis, the male fisherman. Oh, never mind. Yeah, you should move in with Clariella and Destine, who, you know, just judging by kind of the amount of people left in the population here, is probably your daughter. You should move into the house with her so that more people can kind of spread out into these existing houses. But actually, winter has been surprisingly okay here. What's low right now? Food and firewood. Those are both very important things, but as we enter the early spring, I'm going to pause for a second, and it appears things have gone kind of all right. And that's surprising to me, but I'm also, of course, thrilled. Now, we need to do something. We need to make some improvements. So I'm just going to take a look at my professions menu down here. We have 3 fishermen. How many farmers? 4 farmers. 3 fishermen, 4 farmers. We don't need a blacksmith yet. We can stop cutting wood soon. Do we have a forester? We have 1 forester. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to get a second forester, but we need laborers as well. I need to build something here. Probably a trading post is the best bet, so that after I get that trading post up, I can trade some of my iron tools away for things that will allow me to immediately survive. Let's think about this, though, because this is a tough spot. We also would love to have, like, 1 miner, 1 stone cutter, but we'll see. Okay, you know what? We're going to start by building a trading post as the spring enters here. We have 0 builders and 0 laborers, so this is not going to be easy to get done. We'll probably have to micromanage a little bit more than I normally like to, but by getting a trading post, let me just find a suitable place for it. Ideally, a place that doesn't involve that much excavation. Ooh, no, not quite. Oh, we're 1 block away. There we go. That's actually a pretty good place for a trading post, even if it does bung up our road a little bit. So they're going to have to clear a bunch of stuff out of the way, and we have no laborers right now, so what do? We take 1 hunter off. That's really all we can afford. And one fisherman off, and then hope for the best. Okay, so food should be less of an issue just because we have a much smaller population than we used to have. The reserve of firewood is indeed low, but we don't really need firewood right now. We have 1 laborer and 0 builders. Sorry, we should have 1 builder that is getting to work on this trading post. It'll take them more than a year to build this trading post with only 1 builder. But at least we're getting something on the way, you know? And we don't necessarily need any more stone or iron right now. What we're really in danger of is this becoming a ghost town right now. Please tell me you're not the farmer? Where's the other farmer? Oh, maybe this already been planted a little bit. Weirdly enough, despite the fact that this looks like nothing's growing, it's actually growing roughly on the same rate as this cornfield. I guess corn just is more visible. All right, so population growth is something that we're very much looking out for here. Every year is like actually 2 years or 4 years. I think every season might count as 1 year in terms of a person's age, which is a little bit of a weird way of handling it, but by the same token, I think that lets our population grow faster, which is both scary and also something that might keep us alive here. We still, much to my surprise, are not really generating food stores, which is really disappointing because I want to make sure that my population, you know, can survive. And now that it's half the size that it was a year ago, we're still running into issues. Okay, the reserve of logs is low. We'll have our laborer start cutting down some wood. And hopefully this little famine that we dealt through will actually make us a little bit stronger when it comes to dealing with adversity in the future. We have better infrastructure now. We've got more of a focus on agriculture. Maybe sustainable, you know, food production, not from a non-environmental standpoint, but from a survival standpoint. And I'm also going to put, like, a second builder on building this trading post. And one of those builders will then become the merchant who hangs out at the trading post. And the one advantage that we have is we have a ton of iron tools, and that's not really that meaningful, but we have 4 times the number of iron tools as we have adults, basically. Iron tools sell for a lot when merchants actually come to our town. So if I can actually sell, they sell for 8 value, in case you're familiar with Banished. This is how the trading system works. So if I sell, you know, 30 of those, that's 240 points. That could buy me 240 food, which would maybe make sure that maybe some of those people who died the last time we had that huge famine won't actually die this time. I don't know if that's true, but that's my expectation at least. We are cutting down a lot of logs here, and you know, that's going to make it easy enough to build this trading post, and it actually might be done before the winter now. But I would prefer that it was done even faster because traders don't show up all that often. We're actually in very dire circumstances here. We have had another child. What's low right now? Reserve of food is low. Well, we actually have like 400 or 500 in there now. How's the inventory looking? I wish there was like a political system where I could have like a mayor, and the mayor would be me, and I would be like, you can't have more than 50 food stored in your home at any given time. If you have 50 cabbages, you have to give some of it back to the state. I'm starting to see why, you know, fascism kind of got popular. It's totalitarianism. I feel like I can control this economy better than the actual populace can control this economy. Now, the health of my citizens is actually surprisingly good. And that's what I mentioned in the last episode. I was like, by culling the population a little bit, we actually may have improved... I just paused it for a second. We may have improved the way that things will go for the remainder of the population. It's a very kind of Machiavellian way of thinking about it, but so be it. Now we have 1,000 food in our stores, which is something we've never had before, and maybe it's like a forest fire, you know? When the forest fire happens, it's really devastating. A lot of trees die, but also a lot of seed pods open, and the forest can sometimes come back renewed and stronger from the experience. That's a beautiful way of talking about the deaths of, well, dozens of people, maybe 12 people. But we are starting to rebuild society here, which is nice. We didn't die. This is going to be... We have a choice. We can either make this like the death knell of our society, or we can make this a fable of how, you know, glorious Scumtopian society is and how much we've triumphed over adversity. The trading post is so close to actually being done, but maybe we could use like one more builder. But food is good. Firewood is low. Yes, we should have one of our laborers become a firewood producer. And apart from that, oh man, are you still harvesting your cabbages, man? If they're squash, it's early winter, dog. A lot of those are just gonna wither and die, I think. Please tell me, yes, good. They are dropping them off at this storage barn, which is nice. I was concerned that they would move them to the other storage barn. I guess squash is kind of a hardy plant here, but still, firewood's low, firewood's low. Okay, we know that for sure. Trading post is almost done. We just have 2 builders that are just kind of scraping it up here. And once they get to 140 build units, that'll be good. And I don't even know if I need to build another house at this point. I kind of think that I do. Yeah, just a standard, you know, working home here. 11-year-old father, 18-year-old mother with a 5-year-old child. The houses are sort of filling up a little bit. I do think it's not the worst thing in the world to get another house, just so our population can continue to grow at a rapid rate. And we need workers, basically. The more people we have, the more mouths there are to feed, but the more people we have, the more people we have to actually work in our town and be productive. It's a very interesting quandary that we've got going on here. So our trading post is up. One of our builders will now become a worker. And you know what? We're going to stock up on 20 iron tools. That is not a lot, but it can buy me, you know, a relationship with the trader maybe. And it's another storage zone, basically. And we have so much iron. Yeah, firewood's low again. That's fine. We have so much iron that I could probably start having someone else produce iron tools, except for the fact that I need more of a population. What is it? We have a lot of iron, we have a decent amount of stone, and a decent amount of logs. Okay, this might be a terrible decision. We're going to build another house. And we're just going to put it down right here. And hopefully that will let our population grow a little bit more. The reserve of firewood is still low. I guess it's still a little bit cold outside. But that's okay. One house is only 16 logs, so that's going to go up in record time. And now that we've entered early spring, I'm feeling pretty good about the way that we've recovered from what was previously a very terrible experience. Let's take a look. How did our gatherers do last year? It's not a whole lot of food. Might want to take one gatherer off there. We didn't do great from a hunting standpoint either, but I did remove a hunter from the rotation there, so I can understand that. Storage barn here. It's a lot of leather. We should probably build a tailor, and that would reduce the need for firewood. But at the same time, it would also take up a population. So I'm not sure we can really afford that worker right now. I should get my population profession list back up here, my job list, if you will. All right, what should we build? It's a good question. What do we have too much of right now? I probably can't afford to build another farmer. In fact, we have 0 laborers, so whatever I build, I'm taking something away from something else. I could take the woodcutter away and make them a tailor, and maybe we could do something with our stored leather instead. We don't have any coal. Okay, that's fine. You know, honestly, I kind of think that we just sort of sit and wait here for a while. We have a nice supply of food. I can take a look at our storage barns and realize, okay, there's not a whole lot of food there. But in our other storage barn, 235 corn, almost 400 squash, and 120 or so venison. And the reserve of logs is low. We can't really afford to be... We did just get one laborer from our population ticking up, but we can't really afford to be giving people away to jobs willy-nilly right now. We really need to have people still focused on food production, because that was what killed us earlier. We should get a blacksmith working. I hate to do it because, you know, having a blacksmith is not that big of a deal necessarily, but I do want to make sure that our iron tools kind of keep being produced. We'll put our tool limit at 50 so he doesn't work for too long. And we have a woodcutter doing nothing right now, but as we cut more and more trees, that'll change. So we have 0 laborers. That's part of the problem. You know what? We don't need any builders if we're not going to build anything here. So let's just take a year and build our population back up. We're going to cut up these trees. And you know what? We have a very healthy supply of resources just over here. So why don't I take a wooden bridge, a big wooden bridge, if you will, and we'll build that over here. And we'll put one builder on that project. And once that actually gets done, then we have another pretty huge supply of natural resources that we can actually draw from there. So it'll take a while for this wooden bridge to actually get produced, I think. The laborers are very good about dropping the stone off, actually, much to my surprise. But keep in mind, you know, we still need to drop people in the mines and the quarry as well. We used to have nearly double this population. Our existing house has been filled. We've run out of logs again, but once this gets built, that should be fine. We have a huge supply of food, and as much as this might be me kind of killing our town's chances, I kind of want to throw down another wooden house. And I know this is possibly going to be frustrating to a lot of people, but there you go. We've thrown down another wooden house because we need employees at this point. We actually have some laborers now, much to my surprise and, you know, much to my pleasant surprise for sure. Now, where do we put these laborers? It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to have a tailor, probably. And I understand, yes, we need more logs. Now that this bridge is built, we can put some of our laborers on tree duty. Good. And once this house is built, we'll look at our population and figure out how to take things from there. I know that you're supposed to get a really nice kind of setup right off the bat and, you know, have a population explosion. Eventually we'll build a town hall and we'll invite nomads in, and that'll be great. But for now, we're in kind of an unfortunate position. I apologize for the siren. It's trying to tell you that I'm being arrested for being the worst video game player on YouTube. What's low? Logs. That's okay, because we're harvesting a whole bunch right now. That's because we're creating firewood. You know what? We don't need a fuel limit of 300 for firewood anymore. We can put that at 200, in which case they will be at their limit, I think. And we can probably stop them soon. And the blacksmith doing a good job. We have 4 laborers now. Population starting to grow again. Let's put 1 person on the quarry and 1 person on the mine, so at least we have relatively sustainable iron coming in. And we might want to put on a second forester. How many? They produced 4 logs last season. This is why you want to have more foresters than I do. So we'll put a second forester on there. I assume that you hit diminishing returns, like it's not just going to double because we put double the people on it. But this is good. It has our new house. Our new house has a family that's decided to live in it. A couple of nice 10-year-olds. I'm surprised they waited so long to get married, but you know, it is the modern age of year 8. Kids these days. Waiting forever to get married, but that's okay. We're in winter. Everyone's doing fine. Good supply of firewood, good supply of stored food, and our population may recover to fairly record highs soon, which scares the bejesus out of me. But we do have a decent amount of stored food for once, and we will have a trader that'll come by soon as well. So we have 2 laborers. That's actually a pretty good number, but I think what I may want to do is... I don't want to throw up another forester's lodge right away. Why don't we build a tailor? It's something that has to be done at some point. It might be a little bit of a luxury, but at least it means I don't have to worry as much about our woodcutter. So we'll put a tailor down, you know, in the village 2.0 that's kind of sprung up over here, this suburb. And we'll just kind of wait and see. We left, I didn't even highlight what was happening in that winter because that was a relatively easy one. But we started to come back a little bit here. What are we low on again? Stone. Stone and logs. That is completely understandable. Maybe we'll put 1 more person pulling out of the quarry here. Last season we pulled out 2 stone, which is as much as a laborer by themselves will pull out in like a second. Do we need stone to build the tailors? No. But we do need another population working on the quarry probably to pull some more stone out. And that's fine. We can also have our laborer pulling stone from over here. There's a decent amount of it. And there's a decent amount over here if we want to build another bridge. Normally I hate dealing with bridges in games, but in Banished the AI actually handles it really, really well. And it kind of looks nice too. We've got like our village surrounded by, you know, the other villages that are just separated by a couple of very easy to build bridges. So I think the game deserves some credit for that. We only have 1 laborer. Hopefully a population will hit adulthood soon. In the meantime, we're going to put that laborer to use, harvesting a bunch of logs here, because logs are kind of universally needed for things like firewood, which, as you can see, if I mouse over here, the materials required to perform this work are not available. Same with our blacksmith, and that's because of logs. The iron supply is okay. Not great, but okay. And once the tailors are done, we may want to build another house, and I realize that I'm getting myself perhaps into kind of the same mess that I got myself into earlier. But again, the more employees we have, as long as we manage it properly, that's good. I'm just checking on people here. Sure, we have Yvonne. He has had 2 children now. This guy is being a little bit selfish, and normally, you know, if you don't want to have children, that's okay. You can be like the Dink family from Doug, but this guy needs to have some kids or let some people move into his house. Otherwise, he's dragging the village down just a little bit, and you know, I know he didn't ask to be put on this world, but still, it would be very nice if he could do his part and help us out a little bit. Alright, so we're going to have 1 person become a tailor now. We have 0 laborers, so we should take off a... unfortunately, I think we should take off a forester, so that we get another, or we get 1 laborer, and that laborer is going to be able to cut a bunch of trees because we need the firewood. Okay, if you're at your production limit, you don't need to actually make firewood anymore, but I do think we should still continue to make iron tools because that's what we're going to sell to our merchant. The reserve of logs is low again, and you know what? Our food supply has been doing okay, so I'm actually going to tempt fate a little bit, and I'm going to build yet another house. This is going to be prime real estate, literally right next to the quarry. That's probably not going to be great for the people living there, unless they work there, in which case they've got quite a commute. Let's see. The reserve of logs is low. That's okay, because we don't need firewood yet, even though we are entering late summer. The harvest has happened, and we haven't lost as much food in our reserves as I thought we would. So this episode, I think, has been a pretty positive step for us so far. We are getting our population back to pre-famine levels only a couple of years later. We're up to over 1,000 food, and I think we're going to be fine at that level for the winter as well. We still have an actual a lot to harvest here. That cornfield has not been harvested at all. That squash field, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's being harvested right now. That's fine. Might want to put a worker on the... I need to get my professions menu up again. Might want to get a worker on the firewood production. We have 3 laborers now. Previously, we had like 0. So, well, not like 0. We had 1, and we had to take away a forester to make that happen. Now we have 4 laborers. Population's growing quite nicely. I think we dedicate 2 of those to one to the mine, and then another one to the quarry here, just to ensure that we can continue to get resources. And we might want to put another one on this forester's lodge. Actually, you know what? We haven't... Oh, yeah, well, that's because we took someone away. I didn't realize the forester's lodge also harvested some iron and stone as well. Sure, we'll put a second one on the forester's lodge, because we really need... Logs have been a real sore spot for us. Okay, and our last remaining laborer is going to be on firewood duty here. And I think we're going to end up leaving this year with a pretty healthy population. I just built another house, or it's being built right now. We'll see if people move in right away. I only have 1 builder, which is why this is taking a while, but I think it's a smart idea to have the vast majority of my population focused on food production rather than expansion. And after this, we might stop house production for a little bit, because we are growing at a rapid rate, and we've already had people move into this house. They are going to have a child very, very soon. This is not so bad now. We've started to make something happen. And I really hope we get a merchant that comes by soon. Otherwise, there's not really a crazy amount of point to having the amount of tools that I do. Although it's nice. I'm letting the dulcet tones of steel on rock and steel on iron kind of let me drift away to sleep here. It's very nice seeing that we have 1,000 food in our storage. Most of it is in this storage barn over here. Oh, here comes a merchant. This boat just coming up the river right here. Let's see. We've reached the production limit on tools. But that'll change because I'm probably going to give some tools. Let's pause it for a second and talk to this merchant. Probably going to give some tools to this guy. So he has sheep. We want sheep because that'll allow us to make a pasture. But buying sheep is going to cost us more than we have. So what do we have a lot of that I'm willing to give up? I think we should go up to 40 iron tools, even though that's a little scary. I guess I can change it myself. Why don't we go up to 50 iron tools at 8 apiece? That's only 400. I don't know if we need 2 sheep or if we'd be okay with just 1. So I don't have that much of anything else. It's winter. I could give 50 firewood. That would allow me to buy 1 sheep. Well, let's take a gatherer off gathering duty. And this merchant will stay here for a little while, so we should at least be able to get 600. And we can make 1 sheep. I don't know if that'll actually allow us to, you know, make more children, or not make more children, but make more sheep as time goes on. We're giving them our most valuable resources, basically. Has this been full yet? No, not quite. There's still a lot of tools left to go here. We're giving them the most valuable things that we can give them, basically. Firewood is worth 4, and tools are worth 8. So to get to 600, we need a lot of both of them, unfortunately. But I can't really give them anything but firewood and yeah, I can't give them anything but firewood and iron tools because that's really all we have a huge surplus of. I don't want to give them food because that seems counterintuitive, even though a pasture could be crazy important for us. Let's see if we can actually make this happen now. So you got 46 firewood. This doesn't even allow us to go to 600 yet, does it? For 1 sheep, can you give me your most pregnant female sheep, please? We'll put 50 on here and 50 on here. Well, 46. Will they take the deal? You must add an additional 20 units to complete this trade. So we'll wait until our... Do we have a laborer? Because I really don't want this person to go away. I'm willing to take the gamble on 1 sheep actually working. 49. Come on, just a little bit more firewood. You just need to bring a little bit more firewood and just carry a single log down here. There we go, 50. Okay, so we're going to trade away everything that we have in this trading post for a single sheep. I don't know if this is good, but it's done. And we can always make more tools. But man, we are out of wood for now, so why don't we take you off. And what we should build now, and this is where we're basically going to end this episode here, we need to build a pasture. And I am thinking we have one one builder. Let's crank that up to 2 builders for now. And we're going to put this pasture kind of up here in this area where we have our crops as well, just because the storage barn is close by. So we'll build this, and we will go to food production and pasture. And hopefully, even though it's unrealistic, we'll be able to breed from this single sheep that we've gotten. It's a large pasture. And that's where we're going to end this episode, so I hope you guys have enjoyed it. As always, thanks for watching. If you did enjoy it, make sure to show your support by clicking the like button. And, of course, subscribe if you want to see more Banished. We've come a long way in this episode. I think we might very nearly be able to actually make something happen in this town. But it's going to be interesting to see how our probably upcoming population explosion works and whether or not our pasture works out well. But, again, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.